Over the past few years, there has been a glamorization of the college dropout. It seems with the rise of the internet and platforms such as YouTube or Instagram, it has become possible to be successful without going to school, and at times is even encouraged. We look at super successful CEOs like Mark Zuckerberg or Bill Gates who dropped out of college and think, well, if they don't need it, neither do I. On top of that, we see all these very successful online businesses of people who claim that anyone can really do it if they just follow these 4 simple steps to creating an online business. We look at their lives and their wealth and freedom that they have and think, that's what I want. You start to compare their life with yours. You're stuck in school, studying all day, probably broke because you spent all your money on tuition or living costs, and you start to think to yourself, maybe school isn't really worth it at all. Maybe all of this is just a big waste of time. At this point in the video, you are probably wondering which way I'm going to go with this. Is this the guy who's going to tell me that every successful person goes to college? Or is this the progressive guy who says that you don't need college and you can use all that money to learn things online and start a successful business on your own? Well, I'm both. As you know, and may have guessed by the title of my channel, I am in university myself. Now, I haven't graduated, so I can't say with all certainty that my degree is going to be worth everything I put into it. But I'm enjoying myself, and I feel like I'm really learning something that will be valuable in the real world. So far in my degree, I would say for myself, yes, it has been worth it. But what about on an overall scale? What really are the benefits of a degree? I did some limited research, and this is what I found. There are some key similarities among those who have a college degree versus those who do not. The first being that those who had a college degree had an overall higher paying job versus those who did not. On top of that, there was more job security, the ability to create a network of influential people and friends, and even research that indicated that those who had college degrees had more life satisfaction and job satisfaction, and even lower divorce rates. In 2017, Forbes' list of the top 400 richest people in America had 85% of them with college degrees. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention that people like Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates still got into Harvard. They weren't exactly the average Joe in the first place. So with all that being said, it seems a bit like a slam dunk, doesn't it? It seems like a university degree will provide you with the overall higher quality of life. But it's not that simple. University and college degrees aren't the only way to get a post-secondary education. In fact, there are many ways to get a post-secondary education, and foremost among them is the trade. You could become a chef, a carpenter, a welder, a radio broadcaster, any number of these things with a 2-year diploma. I didn't get to do much research on people who are in the trades, but I know many people who are in the trades and they have a great quality of life. And my father didn't have a college degree. He was a carpenter and he was able to provide for 4 kids. And we had a great quality of life growing up. So it's not just about getting a college degree. It could be any post-secondary institution. But what about not going to post-secondary at all? Can you still have a quote-unquote good life without going to post-secondary whatsoever? Now that may seem like a silly question because the answer is, of course, yes. There are millions of people who are living happy, healthy lives, never having attended college or a post-secondary institution at all. But, of course, it is more risky. Without a college education, you're forced to make it on your own, I guess, which we all really have to do, but without something backing you up. And so you're left to find jobs and work your way up through a company, which of course has been done many times throughout the centuries, or you're left to create your own business or freelance. But the good life without a college degree doesn't just come out of nowhere. It takes self-discipline and a willingness to fail. College is the safe route. It is supposed to provide you with a job that is secure and pays well. Now this isn't always the case. There are obviously many people who graduate and find themselves unemployed. But looking at it as an overall, it is the safer route. So I guess you have to ask yourself, Are you someone who's a bit more of a risk taker, who wants to create your own path and branch out? Or are you someone who enjoys security and knowing where you're going in life? So is university right for you? Only you can really decide that. It definitely is right for some people, but it definitely isn't for others. Think clearly when you're making the choice. Understand your motives for going or not going, and make informed decisions, so that wherever you may end up, you find yourself right where you're supposed to be. Till next time, stay holy.